cameras were flashing. Reporters were shouting my dad's name. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't hiding behind him. I was proud. Because yesterday, he saved someone's life. I know what you're thinking. Of course you'd be proud. But here's the thing. For years I was ashamed of him. Ashamed of what he did for a living. Ashamed to be seen with him in public. No. Now I can't stop crying every time I think about how wrong I was. This is the story of how I almost lost the most important person in my life. Because I cared more about what strangers thought than who he really was. My name is Maya. I'm 17. And I go to Riverside High in California. It's one of those schools where everyone seems to have everything. Designer backpacks. New phones every year. Parents who drive luxury cars to drop-offs. And then there's me. Don't get me wrong. My family isn't poor. We have a house. We have food. My mom works part-time at a dental office. My dad works full-time. But his job, that's where things got complicated. My dad is a sanitation worker. A garbage collector. He drives those big trucks early in the morning. He wears a bright orange vest. He comes home smelling like sweat and something I couldn't even describe. When I was little I didn't care. Thought his truck was cool. I'd wave at him from the window when he passed our street. But somewhere around middle school things changed. I started noticing how my friends talked about their parents. Lawyers. Doctors. Tech engineers. One girl's dad worked for Netflix. Another's mom was a real estate agent who sold million-dollar homes. And when they asked me what my dad did, I'd freeze. I started saying things like, he works in waste management. Or logistics. Anything that sounded better than the truth. The worst day was in 10th grade. We had this group project in social studies. Career day prep. Everyone was sitting around talking about their parents. Laughing. Sharing stories. And then this girl, Vanessa, wrinkled her nose and said, can you imagine if your parent cleaned toilets for a living? I'd literally die. Everyone laughed. I felt my stomach drop. My friend Chloe turned to me and asked casually, what does your dad do again, Maya? I panicked. He's in operations. Management stuff for the city. It wasn't a complete lie, but it felt like one. Chloe nodded and moved on. But I couldn't breathe for the rest of class. That afternoon my dad picked me up from school. He was still in his work uniform. Orange vest. Dirt on his boots. I saw Vanessa and two other girls near the parking lot. They looked over. Whispered. Laughed. I got in the car without looking at him. How was school, sweetheart? He asked. Fine, I mumbled. He glanced at me. I could feel him trying to read my face. But he didn't push. We drove home in silence. And I hated myself for feeling relieved when we got there. After that, I started avoiding him in public. If we went to the grocery store together, I'd walk a few steps behind. If someone asked about my family, I'd talk about my mom's job instead. My dad worked hard. Really hard. He'd leave the house at 5 a.m. He'd come home exhausted. Some weeks he'd pick up extra shifts so we could afford things. New shoes for me. A weekend trip to the beach. Repairs on the car. He never complained. Not once. But I didn't see that. All I saw was what he wasn't. He wasn't the dad in a suit. He wasn't the dad who could talk about stock markets or business meetings. He wasn't someone I could brag about. And the worst part, he tried so hard to connect with me. He'd bring me snacks after school. He'd ask about my day. He'd show up to my soccer games still in his uniform, cheering louder than anyone else. And I'd cringe. I'd look around to see if anyone noticed. Vanessa and her group kept making comments. Not directly to me, but loud enough. Some people really have to work those kinds of jobs, huh? I'd never let my kids see me like that. It made me feel small.